Alrighty, traders. Are we good to go here? Yes, we are. We are good to go. All right, fantastic, guys. Fantastic. I want to let me just. I want to. All right, so everything looks like it's on course right now, and everything looks like we're starting up right now, which is fantastic. All right, guys. Anyway, so let's get straight into it. I've been trying to work this live stream for quite some time right now. I'm going to be in this live stream today. I'm going to be doing today for you guys. First, I'm going to be doing a bit of a market update, talking about why it may not happen, it might not happen, which may surprise you. And also in this live stream, I'm going to be talking to you about amazing trading opportunities looking forward, moving forward. Also in this live stream, I'm going to be covering a story of how I. Also in this live stream is I'm also going to be covering how when I first started trading, I was losing money all the time, and one of the things that really helped me out. I'm also going to be walking you through a chart reading technique, and a lot more in this session as well too. So that's what I want to cover in today's live stream to really help you out. Let's actually get straight into today's. All right, so let's do this here. So what I want to talk about, guys, is I want to. So let's get straight into it today, guys. And I'm going to be covering the markets. Going to be covering the markets as well, or the bit of a market update, and sharing that with you. One thing I want to cover here in actually, you know what? Before I do start, guys, let me now go through to here. Let me go through to this PowerPoint. Alrighty, so let me get straight into today's session, guys, and then we'll get started. I just want to bring up the typical disclaimer, and then we'll get started into today's session. Where are we here? All right, fantastic. All right, traders, let's get straight into it. Hey, traders, do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this session today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There is no guarantees of you doing really well in the markets. So be smart about the way that you are trading, and be smart about the way that you are getting involved with these markets, and how you are trading these markets. Because this session here is just educational only. Now, one thing I want to touch on today, guys, before I get into the markets, I want to give you a quick little story here. When I first started trading the markets 15 years ago, when I first started trading, I found myself $250,000 in debt. I lost a lot of money. Now, initially, when I first started, I did really well. Right, I was doing really well from trading. I got very lucky. I jumped on a big bull market, a big bull market, and then, cut a long story short, within a few years of me going through that, borrowed money, so on and so forth, and I found myself $250,000 in the hole, and I just don't know why, but initially I got lucky, right? Beginner's luck. And then something what happened is as I started to get into trading, right? For some reason, most of my trades were losing trades. Most of the trades that I thought were a good idea were going against me. It's like, do I get out now? Do I not get in now? Do I get out now? And all this sort of thing that was happening between when I was trading the markets. And when I first started trading the markets, what ended up happening was, again, I don't know why, but I just kept going backwards. I'm like, I may make a profitable trade here and there, right? But overall, I was like 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, and 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. And I don't know why, but I just kept going backwards, and I kept really struggling at the time, and I just don't know why. I just kept seeing to be losing money on almost every single trade. And I just felt like trading wasn't for me. I just felt like, I got lucky at the start, but then over the couple-year period, I was just struggling. And I didn't know why. What was going on. And the one thing that I did at that time is I started realizing, you know what, there are people that do well from trading, right? There's the small group of people that actually do well from trading, right? Me and my private clients are part of that small group. We do really well from trading. They're doing really well from trading as well too. And then you get the majority of people, right, that aren't doing really well, that end up going backwards. They go backwards most of the time. They go backwards a lot of the time. And I said, okay, I just need to start getting access, not the strategies, but I just need to be able to get access to these, to the top 10%, so to speak, or the top 5%, or whatever you want to call it, and start to ask them, like, and get their opinion on why I'm not doing well, right? Because obviously they've struggled as well too, and they've cracked the code, so to speak. And so anyway, so what ended up happening is I actually went to my very first 7-figure mentor there, and I started getting some coaching from him. And it was really interesting because up until that time, right, I always heard, and you probably heard yourself, right, that 80% of your success or 90% of your success is going to come from your mindset, and also your habits of how you are as a trader. Like, who are you as a trader in the markets, right? Because you know yourself, if you're very emotional in the markets, it's going to have a big thing there. But I always heard that, you know, most of your success comes from your mindset, and 10%, you know, 90% mindset, psychology, 10% strategy. But I never really understood what the mindset of a success trader is. Like, tell me break it down into small little things of what is it and how do I start to get ahead? What is it and how do I start to use it to actually start to get ahead in the markets? And so what ended up happening was when I was going through this coaching with my mentor, he said to me, John, what I want you to start to do is, he said, I've got a 2-hour recording of me, and it's called something to think about. And that 2-hour recording is going to walk you through some of the main things that you need to start doing in order for you to start getting ahead in your trading, because you're completely missing a lot of things that you're not doing with your trading that's causing you to go backwards. And so he said, I want you to watch these 2-hour recordings of me on stage. And I'm walking you through, it's a live seminar. And then I want you to jot down a lot of notes. And then a couple of days later, come back and watch it again. A couple of days later, come back and watch it again, because you pick up different things most times. And it was really, really, really incredible, because that mindset training, that techniques there that I learned from that, really started. I could actually start to see the reason why I was getting emotional about trading, and where I was going wrong and where I was going right. And I didn't instantly become a success overnight, but that was the turning point for me, losing money on almost every single trade and me going backwards and not doing really, really well. That was the turning point for me to actually starting to make progress, where I wasn't losing money, I wasn't making a lot of money, but my account started to slowly grow, because I started to understand this bigger part, which I wasn't focusing on. And so guys, if you are in that same boat that I talked about here today, then this is what you need to do. I've taken that same 2-hour recording, something to think about that I learned that totally changed me, and I've actually put it into the Master Trader Lab, and I'm giving you a free trial to that. So this is what you need to do right now. Go to mastertraderlab.com, get your free 3-day free trial, you know, and it's only $6.99 per month to stay a member to the Master Trader Lab. But what you're going to get on top of all the amazing chart reading, trading systems, and so much more is that something to think about. And when you log in there, I want you to go watch it. I've actually broken it down into 8 videos long, and it's called Something to Think About. It's actually my mentor. And when you watch that, do the same thing. Watch it, take a lot of notes, watch it again a couple of days later, take a lot of notes, watch it again a couple of days later, take a lot of notes. And you'll start to see, okay, I can, this is where I'm missing, this is what I'm missing, this is what I'm missing. And you're going to really, 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 really kick butt in your trading. So we all know, right? And if you're serious about getting ahead in the markets, then there's a reason why they say 90% of your success comes from your psychology, right? So make sure that you do that. You absolutely need to learn the psychology of what makes a successful trader. Not the stock market and trading systems, but what actually goes into a successful trader. So go to mastertraderlab.com, log in there and get access to all that recording there, and start to learn what is the mindset? What is the habits that goes into a really good trader? So you can bring yourself, you can bring a good trader to the markets. So that's what I wanted to start off with because it totally changed my life. Anyway, so let me do I'm going to do a market update now for you and go through here. And one thing that the title of this session is that it might not happen. And what I'm talking about here is this on this session here. A lot of people, there's a lot of people think that we're going to see a mega crash, right? There's been a lot of people saying that yes, even though we may be getting some sort of topping pattern through here on the stock market, okay, and we may be getting I'm looking at the Dow Jones, right? This may be some sort of massive head and shoulder formation that we're looking at here, right? Here we go. Let me delete that. Right. So this could be some sort of massive head and shoulder form. We might be forming that right shoulder now. And so therefore we may be forming some sort of topping pattern. But one thing I want to share with you is that even when we do go through the next recession, we don't know how sharp it's going to be or how long that's going to take to eventually roll out. Okay. Now, what I mean by it might not happen is that you've got to be really careful in the way that you're thinking about these markets, because if you think we're going to get a sharp drop down, like a 20%, black swan event and stuff like that, it's so important not to think about the market in that way, because my second part of the title of this video is that there is an amazing trading opportunities everywhere, and you're looking at the market in a negative way, like, oh, there's going to be a recession come soon. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. No, it's not. It's amazing. Look at the market. So firstly, it might not happen. You've got to say to yourself that if I'm getting into a trade right now because I'm expecting a big drop in one day, that's probably not going to happen, right? It's like we've got like 0.02% chance of that actually happening. A black swan event. Now, even if that happens, right, you do realize that the market in the indexes, the market actually cuts those off. But it's so important to think about these markets isn't this incredible? Look at all this amazing opportunity, right? Because even with the stock market itself, even when we go through a recession, guess what? There's probably going to be the gold stocks and gold gone through a massive boom. So there's amazing trading opportunities everywhere. And we need to be saying, you know what? Even when we do go through a recession, guess what? I love when the market goes through a bear market. Why? Because once you know how to trade the markets and trade it really well, you can make so much more money on the downside. In fact, my largest percent profit in one day came from a bearish trade. Two of my most successful trades that I've done this year have both been bearish trades. So you've got to think about is that, oh, it's so bad. No, it's not bad. It's amazing because there's amazing trading opportunities everywhere. And if there's a bear market somewhere, there's a bull market somewhere. If there's a bear market in the stock market, probably going to get a bull market. Now we know we're going to go through the recession, right? But don't look at it as a bad thing. Please have a positive, open-minded, amazing, like, isn't this incredible? No matter what happens in the markets, you can do well. In fact, you can do so much better in a bear market. The reason why I say that is because 2008, back then anyway, I was trading for a few years leading up to 2008. And 2008 was such an incredible year for me. Why? Because these stocks were falling off the cliff, and when I got an entry signal and we started to get some big movement on the downside, it made a massive difference, especially when you're trading options and so on and so forth. That actually made a massive difference to my trading. So it's so important, right? It's so important that when you're looking at this, please keep a positive, open mind, right? A positive, open mind that isn't this incredible? And now, if you are not doing well with your trading, you just got to step it back and say, okay, what do I need to do to start figuring this out? Is it the trading system or is it me? Am I being consistent? Am I being disciplined? Am I being patient? Like, what are the keys? What are the characteristics, right? The habits that goes into you being a successful trader. But please, there are amazing trading opportunities all over the place. And there's amazing trading opportunities coming right now. And they're happening right now. And so whether we go through a bear market or a bull market, guess what? We are going to go through another recession. But guess what's going to happen after that recession? We're going to go through another boom. It's just going to happen. So be excited for this, right? Be excited for this. So, you know, if and when stocks do start to come down a lot, guess what? You can start to buy them, put them in some sort of long-term buy and hold, just collect the dividends and hold it for the next 10, 20 years. And guess what? You're now making regular cash flow on a long-term account just doing that. When these stocks become 60, 70% off in the next recession, be prepared for that, but say, isn't this incredible? Isn't this amazing? And when you start to look at that, and when you start to look at the market like that, like isn't this amazing? There's so many opportunities out there that this is a good thing, right? Because that's just, we can't fight it. And it's not that the market's manipulated and all that sort of stuff. It's just like, it's just how things work. And so there is so much. You got two ways of looking at this world. Oh, the Fed, this government, this, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. And negative, right? So there's a lot of people out there just focus on negative. And that's one of my mates. One of my mates is the same thing. Negative. It is bad. Negative. I'm like, and every time he messages me all this crap, like, did you listen to this guy on YouTube? It's like, no, I don't listen to that guy anymore because it's just all negative. Flip it on its head, say, isn't this incredible? Because when it goes down, if I know how to trade it properly, or if you know how to trade it properly, you can buy a put and enjoy a really good percent return because the volatility spikes and options and so on and so forth, right? Isn't this amazing that in 1 to 2 years time frame, I'm going to be able to see these stocks at 60, 70, 80% off, and I can just have a long-term, call it a retirement account, and just buy stocks in that and let that thing accumulate over the next 10 years. Like some of these big companies out there that are not going to go away, like Amazon, like Apple, like some of these big, massive companies out there that are going to last, like Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola will not go away. Coca-Cola is probably going to get big, you know, especially in a recession, right? Everyone just wants to go to the sugar hit. So please, guys, please think about that, the way that you are looking at these markets and the way that you're trading these markets, because it's such an amazing, incredible opportunity that we have right now. All you have to do is figure your stuff out, like figure yourself out. Like, do you even have a trading plan? Are you following the trading plan? Are you being consistent at that? And that's your foundations. Once you know that, right? And bullish or bearish, doesn't matter. It's just like you can do really well. You can do really, really, really well. And so right now, by looking at the Dow Jones, we can see that we could be forming some sort of right shoulder here in the markets. And, you know, and it wouldn't be too surprised to see that if we go and have a look at, let's go have a look at the S&P, right? Same thing for the S&P 500, right? Like if I squeeze my chart up, so we had this big run up and this big drop down through here. Excuse me. So we've had this big move up and a big drop down. I wouldn't be too surprised if this is a lower high. And as I was saying before, right, if you watch my live stream or my last couple of videos, I've been saying that because this market went up so high, so fast, that I believe we're likely to get some sort of lower high here or a sideways period first before we decide what we're going to do here. And then same for the NASDAQ as well too. The NASDAQ up, same thing, right? Big move up, big move down. I wouldn't be too quite surprised if we did get some sort of lower high here and we started to see a move down through there. So that's what, and if you look at the transports, so we go to the transports have actually made what? This is a lower low. Let me delete that. So we had that low and we've had this low through here. So the transports, big move up, then a move down. Guess what this is? Shoulder, head. This could be some sort of right shoulder forming through here. And if we have a bit more upward movement or whatever, and then we start to head down, that's got to be also a head and shoulder as well too. So, and one of the most powerful things, one of the most powerful type of head and shoulders in the markets is this. Let me bring this up here. You can have two types of different head and shoulders, right? You can have a shoulder, head, and then also shoulder, where the shoulders are pretty much even on both sides. If you drew a line across, they're pretty much even. Or you could have, and let me delete that back now. Let me go back here now. Let's go back. right back. All right. Or we could have a shoulder head comes down and then creates a shoulder there. So not only did we get a lower low, but also there's a lower high on the shoulders as well too. That's what's making the transports potentially so much weaker right now in that right here, because we're getting this lower low. We could be getting some sort of lower high, big massive head and shoulder formation, and we could be seeing a move down through here. That's okay. You know what I mean? So that's what we're looking at there on the transports. And then you're looking at the other ones as well too. So such as the Russell 2000, this made a major lower low through here. So again, I wouldn't be too surprised if this started rolling over. And the same thing for the Russell 3000 there. So that's what I wanted to walk you through with that there. And then also the silver and gold. If you guys remember the few updates, I did say that I'm expecting some sort of a pullback happening on gold. That's exactly what's happening right now. But gold, I believe, has started a bull run, a big bull run. We have a nice move up. We're getting a nice pullback here. That's just how the markets work. And now, guess what? Now we're starting to move up. So if we have a look here, if we have a look at gold right now, you can see, look at this here, right? So the market was doing what? The market had here, had a high, lower high. This was a low, made a lower high. This was a higher low. So who's in control here? No one, right? Low, then it made a lower high. Who's in control here? Sellers. Did it make a lower low? No, it actually created some sort of higher low. So as you can see here, right, whenever the market starts to do this, where you see that it's not higher high, higher low, it's not lower low, lower high, it's this sort of action, you can see no one's in control here, right? So this is called buyers and sellers fighting it out. Buyers and sellers are fighting it out right here. And that's what was happening through here. Buyers and sellers are fighting out. Now, guess what happened? Bam. We got a big move up, didn't we? We got a big move up here. Now we're likely to see this, which we are getting right. No. Now we're getting this through here, which we're likely to see that. But because this went from the bit of a squeezing up here, right? Triangle pattern breakout, whatever you want to call it, no one in control. Bam. Now we've made what? Now we've made a higher high. Now we're likely to make some sort of higher low. Who's in control right now? The buyers are in control. Buyers are clearly in control. Clearly in control. So remember, how does the bull market work? We have a big move up. We'll have a nice move up, and then we get a pullback. This pullback here right now is okay. Expect a 50% pullback through here, and then a hold, and then a continuation on the upside. And then maybe we're going to get the breaking of the new highs. Then we're likely to see a move up to the upside from there, right? But as you can see, right, always be reading it through here, through this section through here, no one in control, right? Because we weren't getting lower highs breaking past previous lows. We weren't getting high lows breaking past. It was like no one. And now, bam, right? Strong buyers. And if you're looking at the market, let's go to here. You can see how the strength in this last move has been so much stronger than any other move we've seen in a long time. The psychology of the buyers are saying, hey, move, I'll handle it type thing. Right? That's what we're looking at here. And that's what's happening right now in the silver market. So I can't say the same thing for gold. I mean, sorry. That's what's happening in the gold market. I can't say the same thing for silver. Silver is just meh, right? And then if I go down to, let's go down to the gold stocks. So GDX, that's GDXJ. Oh, that's GDX and GDXJ. So gold stocks as well too. So no, that's HUY. Let's go to the GDX. So here's the GDX here as well too. So, but on that weekly chart there on the GDX, look what we're forming here right now. This is a higher low here on the GDX. So getting lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of buying activity through here. It's all happening. It's all moving. It's all grooving. So guys, that's what's happening there right now. And as I was saying at the start of this session here, okay, there's two things here that with your, let's call this circle here. Okay, let's call this circle here. You know, this circle here, your success rate, okay, your success. 10% of your success is going to come from you having a good trading setup and a trading plan that you believe in. Okay. Now, when I say a trading setup, you must understand that this has a win-loss ratio. That means sometimes you're going to get into a trade, you're going to have a losing trade, and that's just the way it works. That trading setup. 90% is your mindset, right? And that's why, like, if you saw at the start of the session, we talked about how I've just uploaded a 2-hour training session from my mentor, walking through. Again, when you go to mastertraderlab.com, you can get a free trial to that, but you also can get access to that as well too. And that's the 90% there. So make sure that you are focusing on both. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that is because 90%, yeah, you could have a really good mindset and what we call the success habits that actually goes into a really good trader. But if you don't have those really good success habits, then like, for example, one of the success habits is consistency, right? If you're not consistent at trading one setup, then you're not going to be consistent. Now, the trading setup itself must be something that you believe in. Now, the one setup that I trade right now, or I've been trading for quite some time, let me just move this up here. The one setup that I've been trading for quite some time has been a setup that there's not a lot of trades, but it's a high win-loss ratio. See, there's two sides of the coin. There's two sides of the coin when you are trading, right? You can have a trading plan that you can have a lot of trades. If you have a lot of trades, you're likely to get a low win-loss ratio. That's okay, right? You still can do well from that. Or for me, I like to have a high win-loss ratio, and with a high win-loss ratio, there's not many trades that, like, for example, I might only trade maybe a couple of dozen, call it 24, 20 to 30 times per year trading my system. But I know most of my trades are going to run on for profit, because it's that high win-loss ratio. So you got to ask yourself, what type of trader are you? How are you as a person? See, that's the reason why I don't trade a system that has a lot of trades. I'm an emotional guy. I'm an emotional person, meaning when I'm putting my hard-earned money into the markets, I can't be actively trading because you're rushing, you're making mistakes, you get in, put too much risk on, all this sort of stuff. For people that can do that, that's fantastic, right? You can do really well. But for me personally, I want to be able to trade less, have less stress, have more confidence every time I'm getting into a trade, and then have that sleep at night factor as well too, and be able to go throughout the year, know that almost every single trade that I get into is going to generate some profit, whether it's a small profit or a large profit. And then from that, that's how I can really, really, really start to, that's how I continue to do really well from trading, is because I understand myself. Now, the question for you is, what type of trader are you? What type of trader are you? Are you the type of trader where you're okay? You can be very active in the markets. And if you are very active in the markets, you can be consistently disciplined at trading your setup. You're not going to get emotional about your trading. You can take your losses really quickly, and so on and so forth, right? I mean, you can get in today and, you could be very, 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 very active. If so, you can do really well, meaning you're very good at, here's my profit. All right, there's a losing trade. I'm going to get out. I'm not going to hold on. I'm going to hope and pray and all that sort of stuff. So the question I'm going to ask you, the question I want you to think about is, what type of trader are you? Are you the type of trader where you can do that? Or are you like me, where I can't be very active? I do really well. I do really well out of trading because I know myself and I can't be very active. I'm very active. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I'm going to make a very emotional decision. I'm going to try to triple up if I've had 2 or 3 losing trades, even though that may be part of the plan, where that sometimes that's going to happen with your trading setup. Then sometimes I will double up. I try to revenge trade. I get very emotional. I remember one time when I was just starting to get good at trading, I did the exact same thing, right? I stayed up all night trading the E-mini S&P 500, and I had a $5,000 trading account, and I was trading a lot, right? Like trading. What I mean by trading a lot is I trade, like, in an 8-hour session, I trade maybe 8-9 times. Now that's trading a lot. And throughout that time, guess what? I go to bed that morning, right? Sun comes up, I go to bed, and I blow up 50% of my trading account, only because I was trying to trade a lot to make a lot of money. Trade a lot to make a lot of money. And what I realized was, as I said before, right, 90% of your success comes from your mindset, your emotional mastery. I didn't realize that the reason why I lost money that night wasn't because of the market, it was because of me. Why? Because why? Well, I got into trades. I got into the trade. I may even stuck to the plan, but I was hoping and praying that this next trade was going to be a profit. So I may have a loss, and then the next trade I want to double up just so I can get back to break even. And then when I did double up because I wanted to get back to break even, then what ended up happening was I would, because I really wanted to, I'd hit my stop loss. I'd move my stop loss down a little bit or up a little bit, depending on the trade. And I was just, you know what, I'm going to give this a bit of room. And I start to draw trend lines. Here's support level. Here's the moving average. I bring on some stupid indicator and bam, 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 right? It would actually go against me until I couldn't handle it anymore. And I was all over the place. If you can keep a good handle on your emotions when you're trading, where you know the fact that this one trade you're getting into right now, this moment, could be part of the loss in your loss ratio, and you know that win-loss ratio, and you're happy being very active in your trading, then you know the type of trader you are. For me, as I said before, I do really well not trading a lot, waiting for really good high-quality setups. That gives me, over time, that gives me the confidence to put more and more money on, because my account is growing and I'm making more money. So therefore, by default, I can put more money on per trade and have the same risk on my account and have the confidence with that. And that's how I do really, really well overall. Now, the question I want to ask you is this: if you are trading a setup that's trading a lot, why are you trading that way? Are you trading that way because you think more trades equals more profit? Because I guarantee you, more trades equals more mistakes, equals you getting in when you shouldn't, revenge trading, et cetera, right? Your emotions are really, really, really engaged. And I guarantee you that the one thing I experienced is that the flip side is that the less trades I take, meaning I take only the highest quality trades only, the more money I make, the better I do every single year from that. And I don't trade a lot. When I do actively trade, I'm trying to make a lot of money, or trying to, the biggest mistake I made in the past was always trying to hit a weekly goal or a monthly goal. It's like some weeks you're going to have a lot of trades and other weeks you're not. So what type of trader are you? What type of trader are you? And, and how are you doing that? Now, if you would like to learn my trading system that I just talked about, how I trade, then go to johnsfreetraining.com, JOHNS freetraining.com. And when you go to johnsfreetraining.com, you can get access to a free training where I'm going to walk you through, the 3 steps, but also the details to my trading system, so you can get a good understanding of how I personally trade the markets and the setups that I look for in the markets. All right, fantastic. Guys, is the screen okay, or is it blurry on your side? I just can't see. Can you speak, John? Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, it should be okay from there. All right. All righty, guys. So we're good. Very good. All right, fantastic. So, guys, I hope that today's session has been insightful for you and you can understand a few things. As I said before, guys, if you haven't got access to the Master Trader Lab, then go to mastertraderlab.com to get access to that mindset trading. If you'd like to learn my #1 trading strategy, then go to johnsfreetraining.com. and you can go from there. The one thing that I want to leave you guys with is this in today's session is this. I want you to really be positive about the future and have such a positive outlook for the future, because you are and you can be an amazing trader. And there's so much amazing trading opportunities out there. And there's so many amazing, there's such incredible times that are coming, regardless of what people say. And it's so important that you have that, like, isn't this incredible? Isn't this incredible? Isn't this amazing? Having that sort of attitude towards life brings you such an abundance of stuff in your life that you never thought was possible. So my challenge to you is that how are you thinking? Are you thinking about, because remember, you get what you focus on in life, right? So are you saying to yourself, trading is hard, trading is difficult, every time I get into a trade, I seem to lose money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? If you are saying that to yourself, if you are going into the world with that, right? You're focusing on trading is hard, trading is difficult, right? And I can't find a good setup or whatever. But if you focus on, isn't this amazing? Isn't this incredible? Isn't this so on and so forth? That's how you can truly, truly, truly get ahead. But my last thing here is this. The stock market has no room for your ego at all. Your stock market has no room for your ego at all. If you are not doing well with your trading right now, the only reason why you're not doing well is because of you. Nothing else. Because I can say this one statement right now. If you are trading, the first thing I say is, are you trading a setup that you believe in? What is the win-loss ratio of that setup that you believe in? And then also, are you being consistent at trading that setup every single time? If you don't have those, then you're gambling, you're guessing. And so, unfortunately, most traders don't want to put the work in to do that. I've been so grateful that I've had access to my mentors and my coaches, and they have really drilled it home, and I've done the work. I know the success rate of my system. I know what a really good setup looks like. And my job is to do nothing until that happens. If you're not doing well in the markets, then you need to, and you want to, okay. If you want to be part of this world called trading, okay, trading the markets, not investing. Investing is hold these stocks for 5, 10, 15, treat it like a property, right? And you're going to collect the dividends. All right. But if you want to be part of this trading world, and you want to do well out of trading, then there are rules that goes into a successful trader. There are habits, right? And when you don't apply those habits to a successful trader, not the stock market. It's not the stock market, it's you. When you apply those habits and those rules to you, what are those habits? Consistency at trading one setup. Discipline at trading that one setup, and patience. If you are not applying those successful trader habits, you as a person to the markets, then you're not going to get ahead. If your trading is all over the place, your last 5 trades is on 5 different things, you're not going to get any consistency long term. And so I find a lot of people want to be part of this trading world, but they don't understand that there are foundational successful habits, successful traits that goes into a successful trader that makes them trade the market well. It has nothing to do with the market and everything to do with you. Because I can say this without certainty. I can say this with certainty. If you're not doing well, I guarantee it's because of these things. Firstly, you're not even consistently following one setup, just one setup. And you don't know the average win-loss ratio on that setup, which simply means you might say, okay, I averagely get, this has a 70% win-loss ratio. And thirdly, you're putting too much money on per trade. your risk management should be, if this is a losing trade right now, it doesn't mean that you got it wrong. It doesn't mean that you got it right and all that sort of stuff. Like, no, it's just the way it was. And if you are hopping into a trade and you have 1 or 2 losing trades, a lot of people say, oh, this system sucks. It doesn't work. Hang on a minute. And then you go through that process. So if you want to be part of this trading world, you need to apply the successful trading principles that goes into a good trader that makes them trade well. If you don't, you are going to what's the word for it? You're going to experience pain for a long time until you just blown out of the markets, or you say the market's not for me. No, the market is for everyone. Unfortunately, we live in a world where we're not patient and we can point the finger at everyone. And a lot of people just don't like looking in the mirror saying, what am I doing to do this? So they are the successful principles that goes into a trader. And I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to seriously think about, how are you going about this? Because if you seriously want to have a successful trading career for the rest of your life, then 1, have such a positive outlook, saying, isn't this amazing? Isn't this incredible? And then secondly, start to work on those success principles that I talked about here. And it may take you a good few months to build a good, solid foundation for you to start moving forward. But the foundation is this. You consistently trade one single setup. You understand that that one setup has a win-loss ratio. You also understand that simply means that you're about to take that setup right now, and it could be that losing trade could be part of the loss in the win-loss ratio, or it could be part of the win in the win-loss ratio. You have no idea. And you need to accept that up front, regardless of what you think, hope, or fear. And if it is a losing trade, you know that you're doing whatever you can to protect your account as much as you can. If you apply that to the markets, you're going to crush it. You're going to absolutely crush it. But what a lot of people do is that they may take a trade. 1, there's not good risk management because they hope it's going to be a profitable trade. I don't give a shit whether it's a profitable trade or not. Throw your ego out the window. Your success in the markets has nothing to do with you being right or wrong with the markets. Nothing to do with that. And it has everything to do with, are you doing your job? Do you have one trading plan that you know the win-loss ratio, and are you being consistent only taking those setups? And do you understand that there is no right or wrong in the markets? It's just you doing your job. Your job is, I'm trading this one setup. I know most of these trades are going to work out. And if this trade is part of the loss in the loss ratio, I'm protecting my account. Meaning, like, for example, for me, when I trade, if I do have a losing trade, which is very rare, but I don't trade a lot. If you guys have seen, like, on the stock market, I've only taken 8 or 9 trades this entire year so far. So I'm probably going to, by the end of the year, I'm probably going to take close to a couple of dozen trades, I would say. But that's just me, right? But if I do have a loss, I know my account is going to be down anywhere between 1% to 3%. I'm good to go. It's like, no. And I don't get into a trade hoping this one trade is going to be a profitable trade, because I have no idea. That's trying to be right with the market. You picking and choosing. You've been there before, right? You've been trading the markets for a long time. You've been there before. Right? You may have a good trading plan, but now you want to pick and choose the trades that you think are going to be a profitable trade. And, and again, I know that if you've been trading the markets for a while, you've experienced this. The trades that you do pick, what you think is going to be right, they're losing trades. And the trades that you don't get into because you don't think it's going to be a profitable trade, they run it for profits. And so the market is not about being right or wrong, or you got it wrong, or you got it right, and all this ego crap. Guys, throw that out the window. It's not about being right or wrong. If you want to be part of this trading world, your job is to trade the setup. And know that some of the trades are going to be losing trades, and accept it up front and not get emotional about it. I'm taking this trade and I accept up front that this could be a losing trade. And it doesn't mean I was wrong, doesn't mean I was right, doesn't mean that I'm a dumb trader, doesn't mean I'm a bad trader. No, it just simply means if I am following a consistent plan every single time, that just means that this trade right now was part of the loss in the loss ratio. That's normal in the markets. Don't go changing your plan. Don't go changing your rules. If you've done all your back testing, your research, and your testing, and you can see the average win-loss ratio, and you can see where you should be getting in and where you should be getting out and where your stop is, and you've done all that work, don't go changing your plan. Because there is no perfect system out there. I'll give you guys a good example with my private clients, right? With my trading strategy. Again, guys, if you want to learn my trading strategy, go to John's, JOHNS, freetraining.com, and you'll be able to learn my trading strategy. But with my private clients, this happened just recently, right? The setup was there. And some of them are like, oh, I'm not too quite sure with my private clients. I traded it, and we all did it live, right? Because I trade the daily chart. And when I got in today, and I held it for about a week. But as I got into it today, all my private clients were talking about it. So we all knew they were on that trade, even as it actually happened. And some of them are like, oh, I'm not too quite sure. And I'm like, well, it meets the rules. So I don't know. It may be a losing trade. If it is, okay. I accept the fact that that's still okay. But there's a 90+% chance that this is going to turn into a nice profit. So I'm not going to try to be right with the market. I'm not going to. This is a really good setup, and I know most of the time this is going to do. And so what I did, I traded it, and everyone else did as well too. And some people are like, oh, I'm not too quite sure, because I was scared of losing money. I'm just like, if you're doing that, you're risking too much of your account straight away. And so what ended up happening was that trade was that trade was a really nice trade. Actually, I'll share the trade with you. Let me just go through to here. 2009 trades. What was it? Was this one here? Right? It was this one right here. Right? So this breakout bar that happened just recently, this is the trade that we got into. Right? And I actually said that there's a 90% chance it's probably going to get down to, I said probably mid 80s, $8 to mid 80s. So this was the trade we got into. And so many people are like, oh my God, no. I'm like, to me, this was a short-term trade. Meaning I'm going to get in and get out quickly. Some of the times I'm going to hold for a few weeks, maybe even up to a month, right? But this was getting in and get out quickly, right? You can see it did nothing for about a week. And then after that, we headed down. Beautiful trade. And I was because one of my private clients who was so like too unsure, and I told him, listen, stop trying to be right with the market. I'd rather be rich than right. Most people try to be right than rich. And what that simply means is that when you're trying to be right with the market, the ones you do get into are probably going to be losing trades. The ones you don't get into are probably going to be winning trades. And so anyway, what ended up happening is that this was an option trade. What ended up happening was the very next day, that actual trader, he got into the same trade as well too. And then he said, you know what? I'm so glad I got into it. I'm so glad that I wasn't trying to be right with the market. And he got like a 40% profit on this trade. As you can see, that the market hardly moved, but it still gave a 40% profit on the trade. It's probably a bit more right now, but we already got out of this trade. So please, guys, please, trading has nothing to do with you trying to be right with the markets, right? And that's what I really, with my private clients, I talk about this all the time. This stuff here to them all the time. And it's not about being right with the markets, except the fact that even though I have a high win-loss ratio, sometimes I'm going to make a mistake myself. Sometimes I'm going to get into a trade. But as long as I've got good risk management, it may not be a trade that meets the rules. Or at most of the trade, it meets the rules, but there's certain things there. But even if I do, I need to make sure I'm taking care of myself. Now, that very rarely happens with me now because I've learned I link so much pain to taking shit trades now because I know that at the end of the day, I'm only going to go backwards. I've done that too many times. I link pain to taking shit trades and I link pleasure to taking really good trades. So you can become an amazing trader. You are an amazing trader, guys. And you just got to take your time, take your time, take your time. And again, with my strategy at johnsfreetraining.com, you will see the strategy I trade. But whether that's my strategy or anyone else's strategy, if you're not consistently disciplined and patient, that's where that's where with my private coaching clients, every day I'm talking to them on the private Facebook group. They know the strategy, but where's the 90%? Where's 90% of your success? It's your mindset. It's all this other stuff I'm talking about today. And that's where every day I'm doing this sort of stuff with them. And every week I do a live coaching call with them. I do that, and majority of it is focused on this to try to get them to understand right, wrong, and all that sort of stuff in the markets. Anyway, guys, today was such an amazing session. I didn't realize I was going to go this long, but there you go. Have an amazing day, guys. Remember, kick butt, take names, and you can do really, really, really well. I'll talk to you soon, guys.